So here we are at the helm of the new R Series Surf. This looks very similar to the non-surf model boats. The main difference is you have some surfing control in the Garmin Screens now. Your Fusion stereo control over here to the left of the steering wheel. Your power button. One thing that I've noticed with the stereos is because we turn the battery switch off when we're all done for the day, the Bluetooth module inside of here automatically disconnects, or your head unit, I should say, is no longer discoverable. So you're not going to be able to automatically pair seamlessly when you start the boat back up, but it's just a quick, simple couple presses of some buttons to get it back into discoverable mode. You'll press your menu button right here. You'll select Bluetooth with the knob, hit connections, and then the first thing that pops up is discoverable. Push that one more time, and then the check mark is there, meaning that now your device is discoverable. You can press your arrow button here to select between different sources, such as Bluetooth, get connected, and play your music that way. Adjusting the volume is super easy. You can either do it on your device. When you raise or lower the volume on your device, it actually is going to raise and lower the volume in the boat. But you also have the knob here to raise and lower your volume. Start the track over, previous track, play or pause the music, or next track. Or if you're listening to the radio, same thing, next radio station, previous radio station, or go ahead and mute everything altogether. The ignition, just to the right of there. Your nice steering wheel is mounted to a tilt column, so you can tilt the steering wheel up and down. As we move above the steering wheel, all your switches are nicely labeled for your horn, bilge blower, bilge pumps, all your lighting options, nav lights, things like that. To the right of the steering wheel is your surf cruise control. Turn it on and off with a simple push of a button, plus and minus to raise or lower your set speed. Use the throttle to get up to that speed, and then the boat will take over from there. Your Garmin Screens up top, beautifully laid out, super legible and easy to read. This is kind of the default view where you have your navigation on the port side screen and then your gauges on the starboard side screen. Using the port screen, if I hit home, this is going to allow me to see my preset screen views. So for example, we were in the cruising mode. You also have wake surf mode. So this still keeps your navigation map on the left, but you have some more digital readouts for engine information, water temperature and depth. And then your surf control comes up on the starboard side screen. You have the ability to drain or fill all your ballast zones. Your GPS speed, your trim position, and your fuel level are up top here. You can select surf left or surf right. Keep in mind your surf gates will stay in until you are above 7 miles an hour, and then they'll automatically deploy. Performance hoist trailer mode. Hoist trailer can be used to automatically retract the surf gates or keep them in the stored position and then start to empty your ballast. This is just a quick one-touch button in case you're putting the boat back on your trailer, back on the hoist, or back into the slip. If I hit home on the right-hand screen, this actually takes me to the R6 homepage. I have the ability there to swipe over right. One of the things I like in here and what you can access is actually your SC light controller. If you have the RGB interior light package or underwater lights on the boat, this is where you can go in and actually change the color of those. You first need to turn on the RGB or underwater lights here at the helm. Then you can come to the screen right here, and then you can start playing around with colors, zones, programs, and you can configure things to your liking. The default screen just has everything nicely set up and super easy. One of the cool things that I like, if I hit blue, for example, that's all of these areas, my accent, my tower, and my underwater lights. If I wanted to actually just change my underwater lights individually, I could select that and go, oh, I want red, I want yellow. So you have that ability to actually change the zones independently of one another. If I want to go back to having my more normal looking gauge view, I have to come back over to the port side screen, hit home, and then hit cruising, and it'll come back for you. When you are in the navigation view, you do have some options on the bottom right here. You have the ability to go to your Waypoints tab. This would be points of interest that either you have created or already inputted. Info for a selected point on the map. You could actually get more information about that area. When I hit menu, that's going to take me into the menu of my current view. For example, if I hit menu on the starboard screen now, that would take me into the menu for the gauge view. If I hit menu on the port side screen when we're in navigation mode, this would take me into my navigation chart menu. If I hit the mark button, that's going to mark my current location. SOS, in case you're having an emergency or observing an emergency. If you press that, you have to then go through a couple steps to actually confirm the emergency you're having or observing. You can't just press it and all of a sudden an alarm will go out. Just kind of a safety that's kind of built in case you accidentally press a button, or say some young kids are kind of playing around and accidentally press it. You don't want the emergency services coming if you're not actually having an emergency. To the right of the helm, you have your Volvo Penta digital readout. If your boat is optioned with trim tabs, this is where your trim tab control is going to be. Heater control if optioned. Arch power switch here to control the tower or provide power back to the switch to raise and lower the tower. You have your helm seat control here if you have the powered helm seat option. And then you have windlass control here at the helm, but keep in mind you always want to try and operate the windlass from up in the bow so you can make sure the chain isn't getting tangled. Throttle binnacle right here. You have your trim manual up and down. To go forward or in reverse, lift up, push it forward, you'll feel an indentation right there, that's forward. Pulling it back to that first indentation, that is reverse. Also over here on the side of the helm is your halon automatic fire extinguisher indicator. That little light will be lit up green, indicating the system is charged and ready to go in case there's a fire. You also have an N button right here. That is a neutral only mode. It disengages the outdrive or the propellers. This is typically going to be used when the team is servicing the boat for you. On the back side of the throttle, there's some additional buttons. You have a plus and minus button. You have a cruise, a tow, and a trim assist button. The tow button is a software extra. Basically, it's a different cruise control, something that you don't need on the Surf Series boat because you already have the zero off speed control. The cruise button, when you press that, the green light lights up, and that enables you to adjust the boat speed rather than using the throttle, but with the plus and minus buttons actually. And last but not least is the trim assist button. That is automatically going to raise and lower the outdrive depending upon your boat speed. When you are surfing, when you are in surf mode, you want to make sure you disengage trim assist. Your red safety lanyard right here, you always want to make sure if you're alone in the boat, you put that on just in case you fall overboard or you hit a huge wave and knock yourself over, that the boat will actually turn off, and that way it's not continuing underway without you knowing.